Hey everybody, welcome to the Spotter Sinks vlog. Today, we're going to take a real-time look at Love is an Open Door by Kristen Anderson-Lopez and Robert Lopez, as heard in the Disney movie Frozen. Now, there's plenty of good songs in this musical movie, but none of them perked up my songwriter's ears nearly as much as this one did. Let's find out why. Okay, first the intro. It's a 4-bar song, and it's grounded in a simple 1-3-4-5 bass line, or do, mi, fa, so. Then, on top of that, are these little 2-note guitar plucks after each note. They're made up of scale degrees 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 1 and 3, 1 and 5. Altogether, this makes up 4 boom chick chords that kind of sound like this. So what you notice first here is that not one of these chords has a 1-3-5 major or minor triad in it. It makes it a little tonally ambiguous. I mean, it's not like kittens dancing on a keyboard or anything, but it does leave room for a couple different interpretations. So my best offering for what to call these guys is a D, D sus slash F sharp, G major 7, and A sus. I came to these chord names by filling in the blanks of what the triads would be based on the most common diatonic chords found in the key of D major. And it just seemed to sound right. But speaking of sounding right though, I'd like to point out the reason I called the second chord in the intro and verses a D sus slash F sharp chord, or a D sus first inversion, and not an F sharp minor chord. I saw a lot of internet tabs out there that did call it F sharp minor chord. And well, it's just not. The reason people wrote that was that F sharp minor chord, it does work here as a chord substitution though. And barely anyone is going to notice or care about it, the couple of notes that you changed from the original guy in order to play your substitution. But still the label here, F sharp minor, is just not accurate, so don't get fooled. But yeah, mistaking tonic chord first inversions for minor threes is one of the most common mistakes in chord transcription. So it just goes to show, just because you found the bass note of the music doesn't mean that's the chord. Beware of inversions, that's all I'm saying. Moving on, the verse, which is 8 bars long, has an accompaniment almost identical to the intro. The most notable difference is that in every other loop, the third bass note changes from a 4 to a 2. And it sounds like this instead. And 2 instead of 4, 5. And, this makes the chord a 2-1-3, which sounds more like a minor 2, with like a 9. In this case being an E minor 9, it would sound like. So there you go. Okay, but disclaimer. Like the D inversion I was just talking about a minute ago, this also has a 1 and a 3. So you could argue for this to be some kind of a D inversion chord as well. The difference here is that before it was just a first inversion. If you wanted to call this a D chord, you'd have to call it a 5th inversion. So yeah, 5th inversions kind of freak me out, so I'm not going there. And if your head just exploded though, but these boom chick chords are too ambiguous for concrete monikers. I'm just having a little fun with them and giving you the best subjective take that I can on it. That's all. Okay, so next we have the pre-chorus. Its chords go like this. B minor, and then D. What's that? Oh, it's a little 7, and then E, the little inversion, and then G minus 7. And here's where I start jumping around and pointing at things like a kid who just woke up from a coma in the middle of Legoland, where all Legos are made of candy. Why? Because not only does this little 4-bar section employ a 1 chord with a dominant 7 and a secondary dominant chord, the 2, it also ends with a borrowed chord, the minor 4 chord. And when it comes to spicing up your regular diatonic pop harmonies, the secondary chords and the borrowed chords make up about 98% of your spice rack. Oh, if that wasn't enough, the pre-chorus gives us not just 1 or 2, but all 3 of the blues notes. The bluesy notes, in case you don't know, are the flat 3, flat 5, and flat 7 scale degrees. This section even has a flat 6 and the G minor 7 chord. And, flat 6 isn't normally considered a blue note, but, what the heck, join the club, flat 6, like, Luke, you don't know, flat 6, you don't know the power of the blue side, Okay, next, here's how all these spicy notes make sense with all their spicy chords. It's kind of why I did the shapes here, they kind of correspond to it, But first, when the lady singer sings, la 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 face, that's a flat 7 bluesy note. And that corresponds to our dominant 1-7 chord, D7. And then when the guy sings nothing, you know, it's like nothing, na 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 na. That's a flat 5 bluesy note. And some people say that the flat 5 is the bluest blue note because it's not in the pentatonic scale, sometimes referring to it as the blue note. But yeah, that's like a whole nother thing, so let's move on. The flat 5 can be found in our major 2 secondary chord, E. Then it's the girl's turn again, when she sings, you know, before and then love. You know, both 4 and love are flat 3 bluesy notes over our minor 4 chord, G minor 7. Also, concerning these minor 7s, some people call them jazz chords. So yeah, jazzy chords and bluesy chords. It's pretty cool. Next up, as far as the spicy chords and notes go, the chorus takes out the 1-7 and leaves in the major 2 and the minor 4. This accompaniment goes something like this. D and then F sharp, minor, then E, then G, minor 7 again. And this loop is played for 6 bars, which is worth pointing out because now we've got 3 different form lengths. 4 bars, 8 bars, and 6 bars. And I mean, most songs only have 1 or 2 size boxes that they put their sections in. So 3 size boxes is pretty special. Something to point out, I think anyway, when you spot it. Next, real quick, also want to take a look at this F sharp minor chord here. This time, there's no doubt about the F sharp bass note rooting down a minor 3. Why? Because this time, the 5th and the 7th scale degrees can be heard over the 3rd scale degree. Remember, before, in the intro and the verse, it didn't have the 5th of the triad or the 3rd of the triad, so we couldn't call it a minor 3 like we can now, right there, at the end of the list. Yeah, it's like 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 chord triad types. Wow, it's beefy. Anyways, ambiguous boom chicks, secondary chords, borrowed chords, bluesy notes, jazzy notes, triple form lengths, etc. That's about as many songwriting tonal tricks as anybody could fit into 1 minute. 1 minute of music, right? I mean, what else could they possibly do? Oh, I know. They can change the key. It's like, so they got all the spice they want in the soup, and then they're like, let's turn up the heat, you know? So yeah, this key change at 1 minute and a second goes from D up to E major. This particular one is what some refer to as a phrase modulation or direct modulation. That means it's totally unprepared. They just go for it. There's no transitional material to indicate that they're about to change the key. The only thing you could argue that gives a split-second clue that they're turning up the heat are the pickup notes that the guy sings. You know, and he's like, it's super quick. And yeah, you could just as easily argue that that's the start of the modulation right there. And not when everybody else comes in on the downbeat when he sings crazy. You know, it's like, it's crazy. Anyways, after the key change, it's pretty much the same shebang as the first half. The only thing I'd like to add is that at 1 minute 30, we should listen for the horn orchestrations. I love how they reinforce the non-diatonic tones, or the bluesy notes, from the secondary and borrowed chords. But we'll look at that when we get there. Let's sync this up. All right, I got the Disney Frozen Deluxe Edition track. It's not any different than the regular one. It's just the Deluxe Edition has more deep tracks on the album. But yeah, let's sync this up. Down from 3. You ready? 3, 2, 1, sync. And there's that, and there's that, and that. And 1, 1, 3, 3, 1, 4, 4, 1, 3, 5, 5, 1. Now we're in the verse. And 5, and 1. And it's not an F sharp minor. And then, oh, there's that 2 that we added. 1, and 1, and it's 2, and here. But then when we go to the pre-chorus, and here comes the bluesy notes. Bam. And na 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 na. And stick it. Yeah. We go 1 and 3. And there's a secondary, and there's our borrowed chord. And let's do it again. 1. Yeah. And secondary and borrowed. And let's do it one more time, because with the 6 beats there, the 6 bars, we can do that. Back to the intro. Just take a deep breath. All that stuff just happened. We gotta do it again. All right. Oh, nice little flute. And then, oh, key change. Oh, what are you doing? 5 and 1, and then inversion, and then there's that 2 again. Yeah, 1, and 5 and 1, and 2, and 5. Here's another pre-chorus. This is my favorite part. Because here's we go with the blues. And na 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 na. La 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 la. And there's our chorus again. And there's the horn. Da, da, da. Yeah, do a horn. One more time. And we can't do that because it was only 6, remember? And yeah, there's the outro. Nice little guitar, 2-note things. Probably samples. And then we're done. And we're at 2 minutes right there. So I don't know what these extra 7 seconds are for, but yeah, I mean, all that stuff, everything within 2 minutes. This is as good as it gets, you guys. I've never even thought about or studied like a pop tune that was this like well crafted. So yeah. Okay, so that's the sync. In closing, I want to express that perhaps the slickest thing about this song isn't the music theory behind it, but the way that the lyrics slip in certain plot elements you're almost certain to miss unless you're paying laser-eyed attention. And yeah, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know how the story ends, stop watching now. Okay, I confess that upon first viewing, I didn't like the plot twist at the end of this film. When the prince turns out to be the villain, I mean, I was like, dude, there were no hints. And if you're going to have a plot twist like the prince turned out to be the villain, you got to at least leave some clues around, man. Oh yeah, and the guy who like gets the ice from the lake, I mean, I wanted him to end up with the queen. I mean, the one who makes the ice, I mean, he gets the ice, she makes the ice. It's like, hello, Match.com. But anyways, yeah. Upon a second look, the writers did in fact leave us some clues, well hidden in the context of the lyrics. Okay, the first one is when he's like, you know, I love crazy. It's like, no you don't, bud. Nobody loves crazy. If you love crazy, you're crazy. And maybe, okay, that's fine. Like maybe he didn't mean like crazy, crazy. But next thing he says is that he's been searching for my own place. Not his own girlfriend, not his own soulmate, not his own princess, but his own place. Really? It's like one of these? Yeah, it's like that. And then there's like the other thing with the finish each other's sandwiches. It's like, that's what you were going to say too? No, you weren't, buddy. Nobody says that. Nobody loves crazy, and nobody finishes each other's sandwiches. Unless it's like, you know, your toddler is like, you know, didn't finish a sandwich, and it's like, nom, nom, nom. But anyways, looks to me like you're about to take this little princess on a long train ride down the track of Disney deception. Otherwise known as Disneption. Okay, well that's it. I hope you enjoyed this Spotter Syncs vlog, and make sure to like us and follow us on all the websites if you like. And yeah, we'll see you next time here at tonaltrends.com. Oh no, it's the flat 5, evil queen, blue note. And the evil queen's like, pre-chorus on the wall. Who's the bluest of them all? And pre-chorus is like, well, evil queen, you're pretty darn blue. But the new bluest note is the flat 6. And evil queen's like, what? I'm the blue note. She can't, what? You know, just like freaking out. And she's like, hey, flat 3. And flat 3's like, what? And then like, flat 5, evil queen is like, come here. He's like, okay. And she's like, all right, I need you to just take flat 6 out into the woods and kill her. And flat 6 is like, okay, boss. But since it's the flat 3, it's more like, okay, boss. You know, because it's like a blue note.